My name is Yatsuki Yoshida. I'm a working housewife. I'm busy with work and housework, but I'm getting by. My husband Jin and I have been married for 2 years. I thought I was doing well with my husband.
What? Fish again?
You can't eat meat all the time. You have to eat a balanced diet of fish as well. My husband eats what I serve, but he was a little dissatisfied with the food. Fish is good too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he's a man. I think he'd rather eat meaty food, but I have to make sure he eats fish too. That's what I thought. But one day… What is this? It was when I looked at the home computer to do some research. Apparently, my husband fell asleep without closing his browser, and the site he had been looking at just before was still open. There. Bad food? Yes, it was a bad food thread on a certain forum. My husband himself started the thread and wrote something outrageous.
My wife makes me eat really awful food. She's so bad.
What? What was written was an insult to my cooking.
The other day I was served fish boiled in paint. It was so colorful.
If it was just about the taste being too strong or too light, fine. But some of them were written to make it funny on purpose. Or rather, most of them were fabricated. I like to cook quite a bit and have been going to cooking classes since I was single. I cook according to recipes. I'm sure my husband was getting frustrated with my daily meals. I was just shocked. I can't believe he would write something like this. I don't know if he's doing it for fun or out of frustration. The only thing I can say is that it's not true. My shock started turning into fuming anger. All right. That night, I decided to talk things over with my husband. You're not happy with what I make, are you?
What? No, well…
I saw your post.
What? That's…
I thought about it, but I don't think we'll be able to eat together comfortably anymore. So, let's start cooking our own meals from tomorrow.
What? I'm working! I don't have time for that!
I'm working too. If you can't, go out to eat. Husband shuts up. He didn't deny anything about the post, so it must have been my husband who started the thread. That fact alone is already appalling. As I declared, I made sure to only cook dinner for myself. Oh, morning.
Morning.
He wakes up and realizes there wasn't even a glass of water in front of his seat. He must have been standing there thinking, she meant it. Okay, I'm gonna go. A meal includes preparation, cooking, and cleanup. I don't care if someone who hasn't done it before can do it or not. Even for dinner after that, I cooked only for myself and ate it proudly. Well, we only have one rice cooker, so I don't mind if he eats that.
Hey, where's mine?
I told you we're preparing our own food from now on. You should make it yourself, because I make bad food. You don't want to eat bad food, do you? After clearly stating this, my husband quietly went into the room. For a while, he was getting by on cup noodles, eating out, etc., but soon his pocket money seemed to run out. He must know better than to spend the living expenses. I often saw him eating white rice with furikake on it. But one day it happened. The side dishes I made are gone. I had stocked the fridge with some side dishes that I had prepared in advance, as well as some ready-to-eat dishes. The whole thing was gone. In addition, there were pans and plates in the sink that had probably been used. They were left unwashed. It's only me and my husband living in this house. It was obvious who did it. Hey, will you stop taking my food?
Huh? What are you talking about? Maybe you forgot you ate it?
How is that possible? I wanted to blurt out. But my husband just kept silent. And it went on every day. The fried eggs I made in the morning, toasted bread, and even the coffee I made. The moment I left the table, it was gone. No, he ate it. Before I can get angry, my husband leaves the house to go to work with a mouthful. Dinner as well. Most of the food I used to prepare beforehand always gets eaten. That's enough. What you're doing is just like stealing.
Huh? You have no proof that I did it?
How are you going to get away with this when you and I are the only ones living here?
Shut up! Shut up!
I am appalled by his utterly childish behavior. No matter how much I tried to warn him, my husband would not stop taking food from me. Finally, the decisive thing happens. It was the day my mother was coming home. It's a lot of work every day for you, isn't it? Here you go. I made you some side dishes and simmer dishes. Have it. Oh, Mom, I'm already a housewife, you know? Even though I said that, I was very grateful to her. After all, my mother's cooking is very good. After having tea at home, my mother left early because she had a concert to attend. I wondered how long it had been since I had a side dish from my mother. I was looking forward to dinner, but… What? What is this? I can't believe it. All of the food my mother had brought, the simmered dishes, the fried chicken, the boiled vegetables, and everything else, gone. I went to the living room and found my husband with his back curled up in the corner. What are you doing? I grabbed him by the shoulders, and he was eating a side dish that my mother had brought as if trying to hide. It was an unbelievable sight.
It's your fault for not making me food.
That's because you posted on the forum that my food is bad.
That's not a big deal. I was just exaggerating to make it a bit more funny.
How can you say that after making a thread? The side dish that my mother had brought was already in a state of disrepair. That's enough. Let's get a divorce.
Just because of food?
It's not just about the food. Do you know what you look like now?
What?
You've gained a lot of weight and your face is full of pimples. My husband was clearly unhealthy due to his lifestyle of eating cup noodles and eating out. I had been making well-balanced meals for that. I was trying to make a meal that was healthy for you.
But I'm a big fan of the more filling stuff.
You don't like what I make, but you don't want to cook it for yourself, so you take my food. Don't you think that's wrong yourself? I'm not sure if he's finally becoming aware of it now that I told him that much. He was sullen, but no apology came out of him. Later that evening, I left home. Although I felt sorry for surprising my mother since her own daughter was at home when she got back from the concert, when I told her what had happened, she was taken aback. Stay at our house for the time being. You should ask for a lawyer. Worried mother. Even though she was tired, my mother made a lot of side dishes for dinner. I cried a little bit because I could finally taste this. I managed to find a lawyer who was good with divorce, and when I asked him to help and it came to a discussion, my husband was now complaining.
You don't want to satisfy your husband enough.
Even the lawyer was dismayed. I kept a proper record of the texts and other things written on that form, so that was also a major divorce material. He was writing things that weren't true after all. Once the posts were brought up, my husband seemed to get flustered. It took a long time, but the divorce was finalized. Many people around us were surprised and said, I didn't expect it to be over something like food. I myself felt the same way. However, to be honest, I don't think I can do well in the future with someone who complains about what somebody cooks for them. I don't know how you put up with it. You should have divorced him sooner. My mother was right. Rumor has it that my husband became extremely unhealthy after I left. So much so that he even had to get a medical checkup.
Make me a meal.
He would say things like that at work to the girls, which became a problem and even stopped him from getting ahead in his career. I'm sick and tired of him relying on others to the very end. I, on the other hand, opened a cooking class at my parents' house. Why don't you just try it as a way to take a break? I'm glad my mother suggested it. It was a big hit. Not only the neighbor's wife, but also her friend's friend, and now, by word of mouth, many people are coming to learn. Natsuki is really good. Your ex-husband must have been a real idiot. And they make the cooking class fun. A lot happened, but I try to think of it as a journey to meet people who are happy to see and listen to my cooking. Hey, what shall we make today? Teach me your simmer dish one more time. No matter how many times I try, it never tastes the same. My mother and I giggle together. I will only cherish those who enjoy my cooking. That's what this incident made me think.
Thanks for watching! Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Bye!